Excuse me.
Just right before we started, I was like, I'm doing a dump run today, and so as soon as this show's over, and guys, so basically I have a mattress in my side yard. I have, and then I had this like dual leather recliner that I've had since I bought this house, so 2013. But so those of you who are new to this experience, I've always had a cat. Like I've always like, and before Drogon was Big Truss, which is my daughter's feral cat. Well, Big Truss got sick towards the end, so there is that a dual leather love seat in my side yard also, which we lovingly call the piss couch, because she got sick on it. So yeah, so that's all going to the Belfour property restoration today as part of a dump run. It's a little cheaper if I dispose of it through them than have my garbage people come pick it up. So that's after this. A very glamorous life, very glamorous here on a hump day. Levack Gals edition.
Let me fully admit, when you said dump run, I did not think that's what you meant in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I thought it was Lamar Jackson we were doing here.
No, I did that. I've cleared the chamber before the show. I'm good to go. I'm all set.
Okay.
Thank you. Right. Appreciate you being concerned about my bowel movements. Listen, speaking of bowel movements, PCA's the poop, man. He's the man. Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, when are you going to get off this nonsense that he's not the MVP? Guys, let's lead off the show with the man who I believe is the first man ever to have back-to-back leadoff home runs and also have in the first game of those, a walk-off winning home run. He is the best defender in the league. Don't make me look up WAR. Don't make me look up WAR. And you're over here and you're like, I love this DH. Like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? What is your problem? Why don't you understand how great Pete Crow Armstrong is, that he's the MVP of the National League, and Shohei Ohtani is an overpaid designated hitter with a gambling problem and a weird life? That's what he is. Damn it.
He's still pretty good. Some of those things I couldn't argue with.
He's fine. He's not even the best player on his team.
Here's what I'll admit. 24 hours after our first discussion of Pete Crow Armstrong, and now into this Wednesday edition of Pete Crow Armstrong, that of the guys who have, we'll call it, battled with, competed against, were in discussion with Ohtani. So I'm going to put Judge in there in that season. I believe it's 2019. I might be off on that year. But it was Judge and Ohtani in the American League one year. And then we have this year with Ohtani. That's a pretty Ohtani and PCA. That's a pretty good rivalry right there. I guess if we want to even go away from Ohtani, Cal Raleigh versus Aaron Judge. We have like real debates of McGuire and Sosa, the 90s and the 98 chase. This is a real threat. I will give you that. I don't still think he's going to win. I still believe Ohtani's going to come back and pitch. He can change things. I believe the Dodgers are better than the Cubs, although I picked the Cubs to get to the NLCS in our preseason preview. The capability, the opportunity, the moments to win an MVP are still in favor of Ohtani than PCA.
No.
PCA is not going to pitch. Like, Ohtani can go out there and pitch and add to his thing.
Ohtani hasn't pitched since July. He hasn't pitched since July.
That's more than PCA's pitch, though.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, all right. You know what? Ohtani, how many times has he played defense? None. You know who's out there patrolling the outfield every day with skill and panache? Pete Crow Armstrong. Not your boy. Do you know who leads Major League Baseball in WAR? Pete Crow Armstrong. Do you know what his wins above replacement are? 7.8. Let me start scrolling down the list to find Shohei Ohtani at a pitiful 3.9. Pitiful 3.9. You're blinded. You're blinded by this love of Asian baseball. You're blinded by the hype machine. You're blinded by he's the new Babe Ruth. You're blinded by it. You're blinded by it. You're not watching. You're not watching this amazing center fielder, Pete Crow Armstrong. You're not paying enough attention. You're blinded.
No.
You're blinded by the razzmatazz and the dazzle of the juggling circus freak that is Shohei Ohtani, and you're not paying attention to the greatness that is Pete Crow Armstrong. And the fact that his jersey has the name all the way down the sleeves, that's your jam.
I love that. I love the long jersey. You know what I like about Pete Crow Armstrong too? There's a picture that's going viral today. I think it was Sammy P for Fox Sports that showed like not only was Pete Crow Armstrong awesome during Tuesday's game, but he got up like bright and early. It was out with the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. So there's like 20 kids who showed up to Wrigley Field, and there's the star player chatting it up in comparison to Ohtani, who might have been out figuring out a 3-leg parlay the night before with his new
pretending he doesn't speak English when it matters most. Yeah, that's the guy.
He's more likable. I'll give you that. PCA is more likable, easier to root for. Ohtani. Look, here's where I'll give you Levack. It's plus money still for Pete Crow Armstrong. If Ohtani,
are you crazy?
I think it's plus 110. I think it's plus 110 is Pete Crow Armstrong. No, minus 135 for Ohtani. If Pete Crow Armstrong, if Ohtani does not pitch for the rest of the season, and I'm saying like all the way to the end of September, obviously that increases Pete Crow Armstrong's chances because now you're even just going on offense and offense. Yeah, defensive skills on skill, but you mentioned the lack of that for Ohtani. It increases his chances. But if Ohtani gets a bunch of starts here and goes 3-0 and allows like less than combined in those starts 10 earned runs and the Dodgers win the West, he's going to win the MVP. They're not going to erase his stats. I get your frustration though. One, he's not a Yankee. Two, it feels like what he's doing is gimmicky. And three, why he's going to pitch forever. Like if he pitches forever, he's going to win the MVP ever. And we don't have an athlete like that.
According to ESPN, Pete Crow Armstrong is the current net, and this is an article that was written by Doug Greenberg almost 23 hours ago. Pete Crow is minus 155. Shohei is plus 125.
Ooh, what book is that? Whoa.
I gotta look where he got it from. I don't. Odds by DraftKings at time of publication. Yeah, there you go.
Right. It may have changed from yesterday.
That's how we have to look it up because we live in New York and we're being protected by the government of New York, which won't allow us to bet on MVPs and rookies of the year because that would take us down the slippery slope. We're too busy with our scratch-off tickets, horse racing, sports wagering, live wagering. We can bet on everything else on a quick draw. Everything else we can bet on, but don't MVP. Then the earth will open up and Satan will rise, and he'll be riding on Shohei Ohtani's dog. You can't bet. We can't be trusted with that kind of power. We can't.
Decoy, whatever the name is for
Blue. I thought his name was Blue.
I think it's an Australian dog. You're confused. That's Bluey, or there's Blue, an American dog, and then Decoy. Anyways, shame on me for not having the updated odd because you're right. I know New York can't bet on it, but that was not what it was yesterday. What an impact the MVP race is. Yeah, I can't bet on that. I would take Ohtani with plus money though right now. Give it to me. What state do I got to get to? Delaware? Where do I got to go? Vermont?
State of disillusionment. That's where you are. That's where you live. Yeah, that's where you are.
Well, they give me plus money that state.
You just don't want. You don't want me to be right. I predicted Pete Crow Armstrong before the season began. I was correct. He's proven it. He should be the guy. You're just you don't want me to be right, and you're so pro Asian baseball player. Which again, listen, I being racist against white people is still being racist, guys. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I think I have a list of what we actually all picked, but I don't remember where the hell I wrote it down. And this
does
is all.
Does Pete Crow Armstrong still have red hair? Does that
I believe it's normal now. I think it's normal.
It's normal. Back. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't. It
looks red to me.
Is that the difference for you? Is that what you need? Is them to have? What if he had an interpreter and he wagered through an interpreter? Would you be okay with him then?
I feel like Pete Crow Armstrong has gone through many different hairstyles, so it's tough to tell if his hair is still red. I believe it was blonde at one point. I know he wears a hat a lot. There's allegedly some videos of him having blue hair. I don't want to, nope, I'm going to stay away from that one. What I was going to say. I will still take Ohtani. I think you hate Ohtani. That's what it is.
I don't hate Ohtani. I just hate that we've just crowned him as the king of all baseball when all he is a freaking DH. That's all he is. He's a DH. He don't play defense. He hasn't pitched since July. So you're giving him credit for stuff he's not even doing. And meanwhile, he's what they had 6 All-Stars on the Dodgers? You know how many All-Stars they had on the Cubs? 1. You know who it was? Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah.
You know what I'm kind of annoyed by about Otani before we move on here? I am
It's full
annoyed
crap.
that I am annoyed that more like reels aggregation headlines didn't come from that podcast. Because you know how they like leaked like the first couple things, and I'm like, okay, I'll go back and listen to that. And I fully admit it. I wanted to hear what I was going to listen to. You know, previews to movies, previews to shows. Those little clips on social media do work on some people. I'm like, what else is going on in that Otani podcast I missed? Or you're just like, I always talk about the Jinx on HBO. I'm like, man, that ending was so good. Everybody had to talk about it. I kind of wanted that to happen to the Otani thing, where someone just skipped ahead and be like, oh, dude, you missed episode 6. If you're not getting that, probably it wasn't that interesting, because that could have also been a huge play in this. Like, if Otani's being investigated by baseball, do you want your star in the National League to win the MVP? Would that have played to get a hurt, help, or no reason at all in the candidacy? That would have been a storyline, but I think that's
I wouldn't have a problem
here
with
nor
it
there
because
now.
it wouldn't affect the way he plays baseball. You know, the fact that unless he was betting against the Dodgers or something like that, well then, then yeah, you can't you're SOL, but no, I don't. What did I do with my remote? How dare I? Listen, I just I think this isn't Ichiro, man. This isn't your all-time favorite baseball player. This is a different dude. He's very, very good, but as of this moment in time, most valuable player is Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah.
I miss Ichiro so much. That guy was awesome. I saw a clip the other day playing like an old school game. He's still smashing. It's just smash. Greatest hitter who ever lived. Before we talk about the Yankees and Orioles in game 2 and what happened in game 1.
We've met Pete Rose. We've met Pete. What is up with your anti-white? You're just such a you hate Caucasians.
No, I like
You know the
people.
word Asian is in Caucasian. You can like us too. I don't. Where's Pete Rose?
Pete Rose is awesome. Pete Rose is nothing but good to us.
Picture. I got a Pete Rose picture somewhere around here.
You're telling me I need somebody to get on. You're telling somebody they got to get on first base. I'm taking Ichiro over Pete Rose, just faster out of the box.
The hit queen, Ichiro, the hit queen.
I feel like Pete Rose called him that, didn't he?
He did. That's why I said he 100% did.
I just felt like it was such an easy insult. I feel like Pete Rose would have said something like that.
He did. Levack and Gaz. Couple of dickheads.
You did.
That was the
so
outtake
good.
that no one ever got to hear. Yeah, no,
So
dude, just
good.
stop
Rest in
hating
peace,
white
Pete
people so
Rose.
much. Stop hating white people so much. Like, what is it with your
You
self
my
hatred?
white guilt.
You do. You're like your white guilt is permeating your baseball takes.
Whoa.
Are there any Asian people in Baltimore at all? Like, I think
Yes, I'm sure
I don't think
there
they're
is.
allowed. I don't think Asian people are allowed in Baltimore. I've been to Baltimore, I think 3 times in my life, definitely once. And I saw 0 Asians. I saw 0 of them. And I was at a Raiders-Ravens game. A lot of Hispanic individuals at a Raiders-Ravens game. I will tell you that. That did happen. That is a thing. That is
Baltimore.
we can't see it because I don't see color. Sorry.
My son Abe was trying to copy his brothers to do "You Can't See Me," and he just doesn't get it. He doesn't know how to use his hands to do the thing. Mohawk Honda, quickly before we talk about the Yankees and Orioles, before I forget to give you some love, and Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you. Glenville, New York is the place for you in Mohawk Honda. Make sure to follow them on social media so you can find yourself a new ride. The summer months are winding down. Oh, not the summer months. The summer days are winding down at this point. We're getting closer and closer to Labor Day. Some of you have actually been smart this summer. Maybe you saved up. Maybe you told yourself by the end of the summer, I want to get myself a new ride or trade in my vehicle. Mohawk Honda can be the place for you. Before the month of August ends, make sure to bring in your hygiene products, helping out local charities across the capital region. Fantastic people there. Shout out to our guy, Greg Johnson and Lindsay Harridan, the entire Harridan family supporting this show, supporting us. If you listen to the show, you like what we do, support the people that make it possible. And don't be afraid to say, I love Levack and Gaz. Those guys are awesome. I come in here because of that. That stuff helps us out too. We love Mohawk Honda. We are scheduled to be back in September as well for a part of our live shows. We start doing live shows again in September. So get ready for that and get yourself a new ride for the Pilot, Odyssey, CRV, and so many more. The place for you in upstate New York, it's Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you.
Do you know that? I know that you love Honda because it's a Japanese company, but do you know that they're manufactured in the United States, Canada, and Mexico? Do you still love Honda now that you know the truth?
Yes,
you know the manufacturing happens over here. Maybe you don't love it as much now. You're like, oh, Japanese Honda, love it, let's go, Ichiro, Honda, and then all of a sudden, Hondas are made in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and you're like, so torn. You're torn now, aren't you? You're torn.
I'm okay.
Right.
If I'm going to say anything selfishly on this show, I will say selfishly, I liked it a lot better on Saturday into Sunday when the graphic had the Baltimore Orioles as the third team in the wild card and all the other teams were below them. And now it's Wednesday evening and Texas, Minnesota, Toronto, and Cleveland are all ahead of them. Cleveland and Baltimore tied, whatever. The O's lose last night to the Yankees 3-1. Grisham, the star in that game for New York.
What's that called? Utah Street? What's that called? Utah Street? Is that where they get the little plaques?
I was gonna
Grisham's getting a plaque. He's getting a plaque now. He belted one.
These are the things people who don't listen to the show can't see behind the scenes that I'm sure at times frustrate you or me, where it's like, I already talked to you about this, guys. We already had this. No, people listening haven't heard us talk about it.
No, you ignored me. You ignored me. I texted you last night that Grisham just got a plaque on Utah Street, and then I got nothing. And then I lost my bet. I lost my bet because of Yordan Alvarez, and I got laughter about that. But I didn't get nothing about Trent Grisham taking the 1-0 lead, belting one on the Utah Street. Gonna get a little plaque, a little baseball bronze out there. Hopefully they spell his name right, unlike what they did with Paul O'Neill. But when the text came in when that happened, I was coming back from football practice. So I looked down at my phone thinking I either needed to get dinner or I forgot something. So I'm like, oh, this is like a really important text of something that just happened 10 minutes ago. And I see your text. I'm like, I almost went, come on. Wait, come on. Oh, what are we doing? That's a bomb. It's so far away. Dude, you know what the best part about last night's win over the filthy, stinky Baltimore Orioles? Trent Grisham accounted for all the runs, but 2 web gems, like 2. Austin Wells with the great play, in the foul territory pop-up catch, tracking it down, sliding underneath it, great. But Lombard again, such a great play at short, getting the first to get the out. That you saw Carlos Rodon mouth, he's a bad mother, like the whole thing. Like, it's just winning with defense. Grisham, your only offense last night. The pitching was solid. Carlos Rodon came back. Only, I think, 60-plus pitches. Good deal. Your Orioles suck. They're just not very good. You know what I mean? They're an average baseball team, which is better than we thought they'd be, considering that they kind of were sellers at the deadline.
Someone has to do the math for me. This has got to be sports history. I don't know if this has ever happened before. That over 70% of a division could potentially be in the postseason. Like, think about that. That's the other amazing part of how bizarre the American League is. The Orioles, less than a week ago, were the team, if the season ended today, in the postseason, in the wild card. Right now, when you and I are taping, they're in last place. The hell happened? Right? Because you got New York. Yes. Well, you got New York. You got Boston and Toronto. The defending American League champions are back, and Tampa's leading the division. So you can have a case where and I know you brought this up on yesterday's show, 4 of the 5 teams in one division make the postseason. That's insane to me. There can't be a ton of moments in the history of sports that have happened. I know we've seen 3 teams in the NFL make the postseason, 3 of 4. Mathematically, I guess we could get there to watch an entire division make a postseason, but that is wild. And the Cardinals were never in contention last year, but they're all in contention. This is crazy to me that you can have that happen. Yeah. But they're still below 500. I think that's another point I need to add to.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's just point it out. Your Orioles they're gonna do bad. It's gonna happen. It's gonna.
I'd like a pitcher. The deadline already passed. We can't do that. That's not allowed.
I mean, you might be able to find one somewhere. I mean, you can try. I just got a spam on my Telegram. Do you have time to chat? I just wrote back no, because I want to see. They're gonna send me a nudie pic. Like, but here, and I'm gonna be like blocked. But I just want to see what the nudie pic is first. If I'm being honest,
I would like, as an Oriole fan, to see the O's still in this series, which is possible. But Warren's an okay pitcher on the mound, and Cole's the next pitcher. So if it's tonight, they take one. You got to get the other one against Cole. That's a lot more difficult. That's for sure. Gosh, that Orioles schedule gets a lot tougher. You go Yankees, Rays back to back, and then Cardinal. Oh God, oh, boy.
Well,
Orioles
you
final
had
series.
fun while it lasted. This is what you get for liking Ohtani more than Pete Crow Armstrong. The baseball gods are punishing you.
Here's the
That's what's
final
happening.
stretch for the Orioles: Red Sox, Guardians, Blue Jays, Mets, Brewers, Blue Jays again. And Yankees. I don't know if I said that. Okay, maybe sell
Luckily-
there for Baltimore. Okay.
Luckily, the Yankees get the Orioles a bunch, so that's nice. I like that.
Tonight things can change. Tonight I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Sophie Cunningham back in the news. Boy, Sophie Cunningham continued to have a wild summer. The summer of Sophie. I just thought of that. Wow, that was really good. Sophie Cunningham said today to the press that the WNBA needs, quote, a bold commissioner who wants the best for the players and not maybe for themselves. She's saying this about Kathy Engelbert, and the vision does not align with where our league needs to go. I wanted to not say that. That's like the third time this week you've said something that's in my brain. Cunningham, quote, you do have to have a person in power who is bold, who is confident, who wants the best for the players, and not maybe for themselves all the time. So I do feel like as a whole, that could be a position that's maybe open at the end of the year, but that's not my call. Levack, we can take this conversation to the WNBA commissioner, but I find this first part more fascinating. What do you make of a current player in the league blasting the league's commissioner?
I think this is the WNBA. Like it is pure drama all the time. And listen, she's not wrong. Like I always pick on you for Manfred. Manfred don't really care if we like him. Goodell embraces the booing. Bettman, he just finally has been allowed to go in public a couple of years back. Like the commissioner is supposed to do what's right for the sport, regardless of what it does for them. Where the W and WNBA, I mean, I guess it stands for woke. And listen, I'm not anti-liberal, not anti-conservative, whatever. But I think when you make decisions to keep yourself from being publicly ridiculed, you shouldn't be commissioner. That's because you're never going to be liked by everyone. And the fact that Ennis Cantor and I think 3 other dudes now have called your bluff, hey, change your bylaws or adhere to your bylaws, or we're going to identify as women and we're going to join your league. So you have 2 choices, and they're not gonna handle it. So I think there's a point where we have to stop worrying about everybody's feelings and start worrying about everybody's well-being. And that is where a true commissioner of the WNBA would step in right now and go, hey, look, complete ally. Sophie Cunningham put it pretty well. I don't hate anyone. There's room at my table for everyone. I'm paraphrasing. I want young girls to be safe in sports. I want to be safe. I don't want to, all of a sudden my big fat ass tells everybody I'm a chick and I start throwing elbows in the paint. That's not good for anyone, so, and I expect full locker room access as a woman. But I'm saying, she's the fact that nobody in the WNBA has had the ovaries to step up and say, hey, you have to have ovaries, or at least be born with them to play in this league for the safety of our athletes. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I did learn this from you, both producing early on in my career and then actually working as your co-host earlier in my career about what commissioners are. And you said it there, the commissioner's job is to make money for the owners. The commissioner's job is to look for the benefit of the league, and some of those go hand in hand. If the league is improving, then that means likely your profit is increasing, your value of your franchise is getting better, and that's what the owners want. If they're spending tons of money, that the investment they have in this team, they're going to gain money, whatever they want to do it, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, whenever they want to sell the team, or if they ever sell the team. Here's the wild part about the WNBA thing. First, it is more interesting than some of the games. I know WNBA fans don't want to admit this. This stuff is, to a wider audience, fascinating because we're in this growth period of the WNBA of what's going to happen. But what I've now continued to learn is that these commissioners are more like agents than they are celebrities. Like a sports agent, a media agent, we know some of the names, the standouts are like the Drew Rosenhouses and the Jimmy Sextons of the world, Nick Khan in the past, but not a lot of people who knew Nick Khan was before he joined the WWE. A lot of agents move in the back and they don't have egos. It's not always Ari Gold. It's, I'm going to make money for my clients who I work for. I'll take my cut and I'll work on another client. I don't need the interview. That's them. You and I have heard that conversation before from salespeople, and we take it as a compliment, but that's their job. They sell and promote the product. You got to get out there and get the microphone and do whatever you do. And some people are cool with that. Some people produce content but there's ego involved here, right? Like, think about Bud Selig. I'm positive of this, not even ever talking to Bud Selig, but I bet somewhere deep down in the gut of Bud Selig, he thinks he saved baseball because he's like, look what I did. McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, chicks dig the log. Me, I'm the one who didn't test for PEDs till he got screamed about. So somewhere he's probably like, Roger Goodell's ego is not as big as people want it, but I'm sure somewhere Goodell's like, look at me. You see what Paul Tagliabue left me? You guys watched that movie Concussion? You remember that scene? Where he's like, good luck, buddy, with this stuff. See, look how much money I made. I'm sure somewhere Goodell thinks that. But look, Selig didn't do it. It was Sosa, McGuire, Bonds. Goodell didn't do it. It was the athletes who did it. Somewhere in Adam Silver and David Stern was known for a huge ego, and he liked having power. I'm almost confident at this point that Kathy Engelbert thought, you know why the WNBA is popular? Me. 2019, I took this thing over, and look how much this league has grown. And guess who's been running the show? Me. Not Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese, not Sophie Cunningham. Me. And I bet that's what this is. It's ego. I can do the job better than anybody else. I can prove you I do the job better than anybody else because look what I've done. I deserve. Can't do that when you're a commissioner. It's not to say how great you are. It's how great the league is.
You can have ego, but you have to be willing to be the bad guy or woman in this case. And if you're not willing to be the bad guy, you're in the wrong job because you can't protect the players from us or themselves or anyone else if you're worried about public opinion all the time. Now, I don't know how long Humperdinck has been the commissioner of the WNBA.
2019.
Okay, so here's what my theory is on why she doesn't want to come out and say the things that need to be said. There was probably a time where a study was done that said if it wasn't for LGBTQ plus, we wouldn't have a fan base. We had a very small fan base. So we need to embrace them. We need to whatever. Okay, cool. Your fan base has changed. And not because of anything you've done, but because Caitlin Clark showed up. And Angel Reese, as bad as Angel Reese is, she's a terrible basketball player. At me if you want. I don't care.
Brick James, I see the new one on the internet.
Brick James, bitch. The queen of the me bound. But like you were, when Jordan came to the NBA, a whole new fan base came in. You know what I mean? Like that's not you're in the seat at the right time. So now you have to do the hard thing. You have to come out and very constructively and however you want to word it, in the interest of protecting our game and our athletes, we have to draw this line. And by the way, we're drawing the same line that Olympic competition is drawn. We're drawing the same line that international competition is drawing. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. And we don't mean to exclude anyone. We'd love for all of you to be here. Hell, we're going to have special nights. We're going to, dude, June's going to be off the hook every year. Don't worry. But we got to do what's right. We have to protect our athletes. And if that hurts anyone's feelings, we're very sorry. We hope you'll understand. But if you don't, so be it. And if you don't know why, it's because you have a Y chromosome.
Are you shocked that nobody? That was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right
the balls.
right
Sorry.
Got me right before the bell rang. Bang. Whoa. The bell can't save him. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you. That's what I just felt right there.
I'm going to get aggravated now.
Are you shocked nobody is campaigning for this? Because sometimes that happens. Like, I want to be an owner of a team. I want to be a GM. I'm actually surprised nobody over the course of the last months has said, I want to be the WNBA commissioner.
I don't think that's how you get that, though. Like, I think when I think of people who would make that kind of grandiose statement, I think of Trump. You know what I mean? And listen, I do think Donald Trump will be in the world of sports after his term as president is over somewhere. I don't know what he's going to do. But I think whoever takes over for the WNBA almost has to be voluntold Like I think they need somebody needs to be brought in who almost doesn't want the job, who is more interested in the sport than the job, who just go like somebody they bring, like they call you and they go, listen, Thomas Kozlowski III, we know that you are not really interested in being the WNBA commissioner, but we also know that you love the game of basketball. You respect our ladies. You would be heartbroken if our game was ruined and went away. And that's why you're the right person for the freaking job. So here's your money. Here's your email account that all the hate's going to go to, and save our game. Because they're on the precipice. Like, and ESPN is force feeding them down our throats. Like they're in every highlight package and all that stuff. And I've actually become okay with it. Like I've actually, because of what Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Aja Wilson, like all these what these women are doing, it's fun to watch. It's not a bad product. Angel Reese is terrible, but she's a superstar, and sometimes it's more important to be liked than to be good. And she brings a lot of attention to the game. Like if somebody tells, like I've actually had the opportunity to speak to some women who are actual WNBA fans, and like it's always funny to me because I'll talk to somebody who I know is like an actual like athlete and whatever, and it's like, oh, Angel Reese is not good, and I'll tell somebody, oh, I love Angel Reese. It's like, no, you love the spectacle that's happening here. You don't love the game because she's terrible. She's god awful. She's just not good.
Maybe my media background is Angel Reese is something, man. Maybe my media background makes this answer a little biased, but if I had to think of two names off the top of my head who I think would be really interesting to run the WNBA and see where the future would be, John Skipper and John Wildhack are the two names that pop up to me. Wildhack, the recently retired athletic director for Syracuse. John Skipper, the former president for ESPN, both with sports connections. For those who don't know, Kathy Engelbert did not start in sports, does not have a sports background. She worked for Deloitte for 30 plus years and then came over here. Skipper understands how ESPN did work, but remember, he's the one who kind of changed the way we view SEC football forever. That was pretty good. Wildhack was the guy programming and connections who has that, we'll call it, fundamentals is the best way to put it, infrastructure of how athletic systems work, although college versus pro, although that looks a little grayed area now because of the NIL and payment. Just some names I think that'd be very interesting that could maybe potentially take on that role. Let's talk about more scandals, shall we?
Condoleezza Rice.
Ooh, wait a second. Why hasn't she done it? I'll go back to the question. Like, she so badly wanted to be in football or have something like this. She was a part of the College Football Playoff Advisory Committee, picking the team. There was rumors that all-time Schefter tweet that she was being considered as the head coach. And now she doesn't want, why not?
She's
like,
the director
maybe she's older.
She's 71. She looks phenomenal.
She just doesn't want to do it. She does.
She's the director of the Hoover Institution on War, Revolution, and Peace. So she runs a library? Yeah.
New rule. We're not allowed to tell people how. Condoleezza Rice is a little different, but I'm cool with this new rule. For any woman who gets past like 45, I was going to say 50. We'll do 45. Don't ask them their age anymore. They want to share it with you. I saw somebody.
You've never been allowed to ask their age. I just do it anyway.
This is hysterical. I don't know what the outlet's name is, but this woman, they go, how old are you? Because she'd been in radio forever, like 37 years. She's like, I'm 55-ish. That's what they wrote as her age. And they wrote, graduated in the class of 1987 from Ithaca. I'm like, ooh, outed. Someone just got to do math there. 39 plus 22. So she's 61 or 62. Gosh, man. Clearly she didn't want her age in there. And she said, I'll figure it out. I'll just throw it in there. Whatever. And she didn't want you to know, you jerks.
I think we're allowed to talk about age finally. Like, I think,
are we?
I think I do to a degree. Like people, but like my daughter calls me Bruce Almighty because people just tell me everything. Like we were in Cumberland Farms and a person told me their entire life story while I was trying to buy 2 C4s and a pack of gum. Like people tell me their age, and maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know, but people just tell me anyway. So like, I think it's part of a conversation. I don't think you can just walk up to somebody and go, damn, how old are you? Like, but I think if you're like, if it's part of like, hey, how'd you become so good at this political game, Condi? And you're not that old. You couldn't be old enough to do all those things. Well, I'm 71. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I think that's like, there's got to be some tact to it. You can't just dive into it.
For sure. Horse racing scandal. Our guy Andrew Champagne, Brian Mariano, we were texting with our guy Closer today. They're scheduled to join us next week. How about, you know what? Shout out to those two. Talking about standings changing to success. As of Wednesday, August 19th, the 1 and 2 handicappers picking Saratoga races this season. Let's keep that pace going, boys. Awesome stuff out of you two right now.
I don't see the wise old owl in there. Ha nerd.
Owl's getting smoked this year. Andrew tweeted this.
Smoked owl would taste good.
Ooh, a little barbecue sauce, maybe. Andrew tweeted this on the 17th. Quote, there are times I think Mike Rapoli's dead wrong, but he has never been more right in his life than he is here. This is where years of the problem isn't the problem, it's people talking about the problem has gotten horse racing. It's about damn time it stops. Rapoli, opening paragraph. I've owned race horses for 20 years. Today is one of the most embarrassing, disgusting, and saddest days I've ever experienced in the sport. I'm going on the record. There's real validity to the rumors and allegations surrounding Marshall Graham. He writes a bunch of stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, for those who don't know what's going on here, this guy name's Marshall Graham, all right? He teaches at Rhodes College. He runs an ownership syndicate called 10 Strike Racing. And what happened is that he found HISA and deliberately and methodically pulled confidential health data for nearly 2 months, beginning in early May, and built the process to mimic the activity so nobody would catch him. And during that time, he hopped in on multiple handicapping contests, placed multiple pari-mutuel wagers, and claimed horses out of claiming races, at least 9 during the period. Levack, I don't want to say this is kind of over our heads a little bit, but like for the people who will call it in the weeds and in the woods on this, they are calling this the dirtiest thing that's happened in horse racing in their lifetime. Somebody got the info, used the info, and then got caught using it. Who's supposed to be one of the good guys of horse racing? I haven't said this ever, but I'm kind of glad I'm not at Saratoga this month now, because how do you avoid this one? What's your take on the scandal? What's up with Saratoga horse race? It has been a weird summer in that sport, it feels like. And gosh, you and I are doing less horse racing than maybe ever in the history of this show. Gosh, with this one.
I haven't made a bet since Belmont.
In 21 and sorry, real quick, even though we weren't there in 21 and 22, the schedules of what the Empire were at that point was very much now. So even we were doing different stuff in comparison to horse racing. Those. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that in my mind, boxing's not dead, but it's on life support. But what killed boxing was the controversy that it was fixed, that it was rigged, that it was the mob was involved, and this one was involved, and we never got to see the best fighter go up against the best fighter because there was a political game being played. The horse racing has survived so many things. It's never going to go away because of the seasonality of it, and especially in this area. But like this is the kind of stuff that will hurt horse racing, like legitimately hurt horse racing, because there are people out there who can rationalize just about any of it. They cheated to win this win. They cheated this, and they did this, and they did this, and they'll just turn a blind eye. And the horse got hurt. Well, they turn a blind eye. Wait, some dude won all my money by using his job as a professor to get unfair access. Some guy padded his wallet by using his job as a Rhodes professor to figure out what horses were going to be the best in claiming. And so he used an unfair advantage to beat us all. And he didn't even post a damn pink slip for us so that we could ride along. Like that'll hurt horse racing probably more than anything. So cheaters gonna cheat, man. That's all there is to it.
The evolution of the sport and how it changes. Like, look at all sports. I'm talking everybody: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, tennis, golf. Pick something. Like, and more so, it seems like the last 15 years, everybody's evolved. Whether it's adding playoffs, whether it's adding teams, whether it's adding streaming services, whether it's adding money to pay athletes, like the world changed, and a lot of these sports have changed with the world. Now, horse racing's trying to. Horse racing has found ways you can bet on your phone and online. Horse racing is adding this championship series in comparison to the Triple Crown. They're doing it, but Andrew will probably answer this more next week and Closer the same way. Like, you're trying, but you're too late to try. Or to your boxing comparison, which is fantastic. Like, who are the people who are changing this? FIBA can do this, and these guys can do this, and these guys can do that, but you're not doing this. There's no governing body that should be overseeing everything, and there's too many. Right. It's exactly right. Here's the, gosh, I don't like this comparison, but I know I've said this before. People who are anti-horse racing would give me the argument that how is it different than dog fighting or cockfighting? How, like, you're racing and competing with animals who have owners that have maybe, hopefully, the best interest of that animal at heart, but without regulation, horse racing has been around a lot longer, and a lot richer people have been dealing with that. Back to my white people thing. Should I? No, anyways.
Well, there's a big, hold on, but there's a big difference between, dog fighting, cockfighting, and horse racing, because
money. Well,
no, the goal is not for the horse to be hurt. The byproduct sometimes is the horse gets hurt and dies. That's the byproduct. In these fighting things, the goal is for them to get hurt. That's the goal. Like, if everything was perfect in the world of horse racing, 5 to 12 horses would run as fast as they can. One would win, one would come in second, one would come in third, and then they would all go trollop around a field, and everything would be great at the end of the day, and everybody would be happy. In these fight games where these two animals that don't have any idea why are bred to be mean and try to kill each other, and we all profit on it, and so there's a fundamental difference.
For sure. Right. I should have explained that better in the sense of, like, what is regulating those sports. That's right. The intent purpose at the end. For sure. Was there gambling involved in those other ones? Of course. Greyhounds and wiener dogs. And yes, I hope it just isn't something that completely looks different than what we see now in 2026. I know you've heard me say this before. Like 20 years ago, if someone asked you and I, like, what do you think is going to change in your lifetime as a sports fan? I think one day college athletes will get paid. Yep, that happened. I think one day college football will have a playoff. Yep, that happened. I think one day March Madness will expand. Yep, that happened. The Native American nicknames will be gone. Yep, that happened. What else am I missing here? Oh, you could legally wager on sports. That happened. The WNBA and women's sports will be more popular. All the predictions that people had 20 years ago, most of them hit. The ones that kind of whiffed were the X Games. Like, I think the most popular sport will be skateboarding. I think Tony Hawk's who we got to market. It's kind of like crypto, and that's take for another day. X Games turned into, like, you can be a crypto guy if you want, bank on it. I don't know. Like, my predict 25, 30 years from now, horse racing is going to look totally different. And I'm not smart enough to tell you what it is. Is it less horses? Are they bred differently? Andrew will go off about that.
Horses.
Is the season longer? You can only race once every 3 months? This thing is going to look different. I can't tell if it's going to be like the way of boxing, like you said, far less popular. We'll find out. But that's my prediction. Like people did 20 years ago with a bunch of other stuff. This thing is not going to be what it looks like 20 years from now.
Yep. But again, I don't think it'll ever really suffer here in upstate New York because the seasonality and the 40 days of racing, and it's just, it'll always be the Saratoga place, the summer place to be. So, but there'll be less cash coming in, especially there'll be less new fans. That's for damn sure.
We get closer and closer to our final NFL preview show. We're about 3 weeks away from that one. We're a little less than hitting. We got news involving Von Miller, by the way, and we bring that up because Von Miller is heading to the Dallas Cowboys. How about that? A 1-year deal for the guy who played his college ball at Texas A&M. Von Miller heads to the Cowboys. All of a sudden, where's our guy Matt Bopp? Where's our guy Chris P? Where's those Cowboy fans at? How about him, Cowboys? That's a good defense. Malachi Lawrence, arguably the steal of the draft, and Caleb Downs. You add an old Von Miller. But as much as we'll talk more about the Cowboy defense, it looks like all that stuff. Remember, Von Miller wore number 40 at Texas A&M, and 40 with the Rams, and 40 with the Bills. Now, he wore a different number with the Broncos, and he wore 24 last season with the Commanders, but maybe he's going back to 40, but it's already taken up by a fullback on the team. Miller said this recently in an interview talking about signing with Dallas Code. I don't know what number I'm going to be able to wear, I'm going to be able to have. I know Hunter's 40. I think 58. That's a Denver thing. I wore 58 for so long in one spot. I wore 24 last year. They're already taking it as well. But Hunter, we started off on a great foot. I'm a team guy. Whatever he wants to get done. I'm sure we could figure something out. Even if it doesn't work out, that's just how it's supposed to be. I'm not going to get caught up in a number, but I did make some offers to him already that I feel like he can't come off of those. I think a life supply of chicken will do it. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Corey and Greenwich passed along this information that Von Miller is a part of a Greener Pastures Chicken Company, a Texas-based poultry business that he's a part of that can give him lifetime chicken.
It's one thing, like he agriculture or whatever at Texas A&M. Like he studied raising chickens. Like he has his own chickens. I don't think I would pay. Granted, this is different because I don't have any money, but I don't think I would give you anything for my number. I think I would be more likely to sell my number than I would be, because and maybe that's because it's weird because I grew up a Yankee fan. The number is so important, but also there's no name on the back of the jersey, so it's you make it great with the name on the front kind of deal. I think I'd be far more likely to sell my number than to buy my number, but maybe if I had a gajillion dollars and could provide people chicken for life, that would be different. But I don't really know. Like I wouldn't give up much. I don't have much to give up.
What about Disney? Wasn't that a famous one? I believe that was a punter. I want to say it's Fiegels and Eli. The famous Disney trip was paid for or something. One of those New York Giants. You're going to Disney next week. What if somebody said, hey, I'll pay for your entire Disney trip if you gave up a number?
Well, my entire Disney trip, airfare.
Paid for everything.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like if I shoot the moon on this trip, I'm going to be like 10 grand. What, you know,
2 Disney trips. You hear me?
Now, if you're paying, I'm probably going to stay at the Polynesian and some other, like it's going to be a little different. No, I don't know. Like, because I would just rather have money. Like, if you just give me, but again, I would sell it. Like, I would sell you my number for lifetime supply of chicken, couple Disney trips. I want to say Ricky Henderson gave a guy golf clubs for 24 once. Like we've heard about these great trades that have happened for the numbers. But I said, it's probably because I'm poor. I would rather get money than pay money. Like now, mind you, if I had $100 million in the bank and I really wanted, 99, maybe we could talk. But I would sell my number a lot cheaper than what I would pay for anything. Like I would be like, dude, 20 grand is your number. We'll move on.
I like the new one that's happening involving Devontae Adams that's going viral. Jets fans will remember this, that when Devontae Adams traded for the Jets, he wanted 17. Malachi Corley was wearing the number, and he was going to give him money, like $17,000, but Corley asked for $1 million. And then they said, he legit went to Woody Johnson and said, hey, can I have 17? And the next day he had it in his locker.
Well, I mean,
it's crazy.
And that's the thing too, is like Malachi who? You know what I mean? Like it's Devontae Adams. Like it's Von Miller at 100 years old, so maybe it's not the same. But Von Miller's the Super Bowl MVP. If Von Miller wants the freaking number 40, and he's willing to give me anything, I probably should go ahead and make the deal because he's a Super Bowl MVP. We had the worst defense in the league last year, and it looks like we're going to be top 5 this year based on the back of the football card. So I should probably just give him the damn number and be done with it, especially as a fullback. Like, who has it? What's the guy's name?
Hunter something.
Yeah, some porn name.
Frank Tripucka wore 18 for the Broncos. I remember that ceremony where Peyton Manning's coming to Denver, and he's like, I want to thank Frank Tripucka for letting me wear his number. Frank Tripucka's like, this is awesome. People are Googling who the hell I am again because of Peyton Manning or the Tripucka family. Things like, see, this is one thing about the numbers. You and I were probably the last 2 years. This has become one of my favorite conversations with you. By the way, Frank Tripucka died in 2013, New Jersey native. You and I, that's right. Rest in peace, Mr. Tripucka, a Bronco legend. You and I have definitely gone completely different ways on the number discussion. I'm going to let you go first. Your opinion of numbers has changed because of your involvement with the Firebirds and the nonsense you've had to deal with behind the scenes involving current players, past players. Is that not the right way to phrase that?
Yeah, usually it's the majority of the number issue is fans. The players don't really seem to care all that much. Some do. Nick Hague was out of his mind when he had to wear 15 for a couple games. But he did, and he actually played better. I tried to get him to go back to 15. It's such a difficult. I get it. It's almost like a religion to an athlete, the number sometimes, but it is definitely overhyped. Like I honestly, like, for me as a guy who has to like sell fan jerseys, if you're one of my best players, I'd like if you wore a different number every year. I'd love it because then your biggest fans have to go buy a new damn jersey every year. That's good for my bottom line. You wear a different number you come in, you start at number 1, and by the time your career's over here, you're at like 12. That'd be great. I'd be all over it. Let's go.
The reason my take on numbers has changed, especially the last couple of years, is just how I view sports a little differently, like doing it a different, like when we'd go to camp, how dare you, but like the rosters are massive in football. You know who the best players are, but sometimes Levack and I would go to camp and be like, "Ooh, that was a nice play by 37. Who's 37? And you'd have to check. And when you interview players and go to these media sessions, you'd be like, but more so when they're actually playing. And for younger athletes too, like what a cool compliment that somebody's watching on another field, be like, I don't know who that was, but whoever number 5 was pretty good. That's how people at the base level identify you. They don't know your name. They don't know your last name. They don't know who you are, but, oh, that kid's good, and he's wearing this number.
That's why you have the number. That's why.
That's exactly right. Right. Like, it's the simplest thing in sports. And I'm trying to explain that to kids and like parents, like, hey, like, this is how I'm at Syracuse camp, right? Some of these guys I'm learning for the first time, like Chris Peel just switched his number. He's the best player. Justin Ross Simmons just joined the team. They had different numbers. And it's like, okay, I get what's happening here. And conveniently, you can't make this stuff up. Today's the big day. My son Rex gets his first football jersey today. So now he's got to pick the number. And like, my sister was over today. She's like, what number are you picking? You saw the wheels churning. I remember as a kid, like a 7-year-old, my dad was my coach. And he's like, I looked at my dad. I'm like, Dad, what's a good number for a center? Because my dad was, he let me be the center because I get to touch the ball every play as the coach's kid, even though I could be the right. But he's like 50s. I'm like, who's a good 50? And I was 51, Dick Butkus, So like, but those things are cool.
Yeah, my daughter was 7 in t-ball and softball for Mickey.
Mickey Mantle, right?
Yeah, she's like, Dad, what number do I want? I was like, well, you like the number 7? She goes, yeah, I do. She goes, well, who? So I go, one of the greatest players of all time, Mickey Mantle. And then she was 7 every year, but. Again, if she could make millions and she was going on to Mickey Mantle's team and Mickey said, I want to wear 7, she would hand the 7 over.
That's exactly right. Yes, it would. Go over to Mick. So, yeah, I love numbers. Those are cool things. The reflection of you when someone says, and we just added a coach the other day, and he doesn't know the kid's name. So I want to be like, was it Jerry Reeves, the old coach? Jerry Glanville, I think it was. All right, 32. All right, 12. I'm like, you can at least try to learn your players' names. I know coaches go from place to place, but come on, Jerry Glanville.
I like the masking tape on the front of the helmet with the name on it. That's one of my favorites. Well, and like, I guess like at a kid level, everything about the number is sentimental. Like it's not like unless Rex is getting paid to play, the number is very sentimental, and that's the huge values, the memories he's going to make, and what he's going to learn while he's out there making them. But like, maybe everything has changed for me since I became the guy, filling out the spreadsheet. Not anymore, thank God. Coach Gooch did the spreadsheet for the last couple of years. But like, when I was the guy filling out the spreadsheet, I'm just like, dude, are we really gonna fight over this number? And then like somebody would wear the number. And everybody be happy in the locker room, and all of a sudden I go on Facebook and there's some idiot going, "Oh, that was so and so's number," but we're not in the same freaking team anymore, dude. Like, what? Shut the f up. What do you? Like, do you just buy? Did you buy tickets? No, just shut you. Then your opinion means nothing to me.
I dare. He won't do this. I dare Fran Brown to just shot a random guy out there with 44-1 practice and watch the Syracuse media minds explode.
I think that's different.
Yes, I know it's definitely different for sure.
Because like the number 1 for Michigan, like there's no number 1 in the wide receiver core right now, and I don't know if somebody has a chance to earn that. I don't know if Willingham will stick by that, but like 44 for Syracuse is religious. Like that's I'm not a Cuse fan by any stretch of the imagination, but if I see a 44 jersey, I start okay, all right, that dude's special. That dude better be good. But like, and there's certain numbers that are like that, like you said. Dick Butkus. If somebody ever wore a 51 in a Bears jersey, he better be careful. He better be careful.
That's
better
right.
Make sure you're worth it. You're writing a check. Your butt better be able to cash.
By the way, my answer is the Disney trip. I know I kind of gave my answer to you. That would be if I was
Well, yeah,
playing
you have
pro
3
sports and I had
kids.
kids. Right, I'll take the
You have
Disney
3
trip.
kids,
We're good.
so you'll have 4 soon.
My wife is not pregnant. No, she is
Yeah.
not. To my
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you think about it, for a decent Disney trip, so you're talking about, enough beds that nobody's sharing beds, because your room you're not really spending. Like I got a villa this time because it's my 50th, but normally I'll just go, so if I splurge on a suite, that's crazy for me. But like you're probably looking at about $3,000 a head to do like a reasonable trip. Not crazy, whatever. So at $3,000 a head, you're at 12 before you even. Actually, I'm sorry, you're at 15 before you even get going. So yeah, that's not where me. I'm at 9 right now because there's 3 of us going. And it's not all me. If it wasn't my birthday, it would be all me. But it's my birthday, so I'm like, I'm not paying for everyone this time. I paid for everybody's airfare. I paid everybody had to kick in. I think I literally, I'll tell numbers. I was like, everybody owes me $1,100. And by the way, your trip, I just told you, you're starting at 3. That's for a reasonable trip. This is not a reasonable trip. Again, we're doing the Saratoga Villa. I got Park Hopper. I got Lightning Lane. This is not. I'm still eating a lot of this on my own, but like, yeah, for you first time. And have you ever been?
Yes.
Okay, so you know enough to know like what's in your kid. Like when you see your kid's eyes light up, that's a whole nother animal. Like it's a whole. Like when Bells was 6 and we went the first time, like for both of us, I'll never forget like that. That's probably why I'm so freaking ridiculous now, willing to spend the money. But also, I do like traveling the world without traveling the world. What's up, Epcot? Let's go. But yeah, you're 15 to 20K with a family of 5.
I try explaining that to my parents. They're like, they want to be, if we ever go, like they want to be part of it. Like, listen, 1999 is not 2026. It's a lot different for a family 26 years ago to Disney to what it is now. So yeah, we're years away from it. You were almost there.
I'll give you the cheat code. The unofficial president of the fan club, Monty, his wife Darcy. She's my Disney hookup. She does the whole plan for me. Like sets me up on a payment plan. I book it early enough where I can make payments as I go, and I put Disney on layaway, bro.
Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Monty. Yes. Thank you, everybody. We got 2 more. We got 2 more with you before you're off to the beautiful Florida spot.
I'm already on the plane. I'm mentally on the plane. You got to see it. The cat knows I'm leaving. He knows it because he's seen the luggage come out before. I mean, I was just in Tennessee. He keeps trying to get in the suitcase, and since I won't let him in the suitcase, he's sleeping on my backpack. He's literally sleeping on. I want to see if I can show him this. Look at that! Look at. He's like, you ain't going nowhere, fat man. Like he's like.
I want that to just be the thumbnail today. I don't even want to do the AI. I want that just picture.
I'll send you a picture if you want.
I'm seriously gonna do that. Send that picture.
Drogon has decided vacation is canceled.
I know cats and dogs do good on YouTube. All right, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. I think it was a great show. We did a wonderful job. We're great.
I'll see if I can pencil you in. I can't make any real promises. I'm a very busy man.
All right, I'm hitting the button.
Now. I gotta go take a dump. Hit the button.
All right.